Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Town Board, the Town of Ossining, as well as the work session for December 11th, 2017. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We are going to get started at the beginning of this meeting with our work session item. And here to talk to us is Keith Gordon, who has been running the Cedar Lane Art Center. As you may recall, I think it was back in April of 2017. Oh, this year. I know I was going to say 2016, but no, it's just since 2017. We had our grand opening of the Cedar Lane Art Center. And we've had a number of different classes there, and we talked about the space that's kind of an empty space, which once was a theater space and has been lots of different iterations over time, sort of being flex space and being able to be used for multiple uses. And we wanted to see how it evolved, and we now have some recommendations since we've had a number of different proposals that usually come directly to Keith. Sometimes they come to the rec center, of how we could use that space well. We have some proposals for fees that would be attached to various uses. So Keith, if you would be so kind as to come on up to the podium and talk to us a little bit about what you're thinking and your recommendations, and why.
Good morning.
Morning.
So as Dana said, we've had a number of classes for adults and children, and in the summer we had a couple of four week-long camp sessions for children. And knowledge of the Art Center is growing, but it's kind of slow. And I still find half the people I meet either in the village of Ossining or Briarcliff or Croton have never heard of Cedar Lane Park, much less Cedar Lane Art Center. So my view is that by opening up the Art Center to other activities besides the rec center classes alone, we do two things. One, it's being used. You spend a lot of money on fixing it up, and it should be used. You may get some revenue from it as well to help cover costs, but also you'll get more people to know it exists, to recognize it as a place to go for art activities, particularly, but also other activities when it's not being used for art. So my recommendation is that you adopt a policy so there's some consistency, to allow other groups besides the rec classes to use parts of the building with certain conditions. One being that it not interfere with the rec classes that are scheduled, that they cover their own costs, and that there be a priority given both in terms of scheduling and in terms of cost, for art-related activities. So if somebody wants to have a birthday party, that whatever is one thing, but if somebody wants to have a group of painters or a group of drawers come and just work together without an instructor, that should get priority because it's part of the mission of the Art Center. And to the degree possible, these things can be scheduled during a regular scheduled class, then it doesn't increase any costs, for my time to open up the doors, make sure everything's, cleaned up when they leave, things like that, because it's already during class. So that's sort of the outline. And I think you have the proposal in front of you, so I won't read through each of the different fees. But I have been getting, regular inquiries from Girl Scouts, from arts groups, from ferry sloops, and other nonprofits, and it would be helpful to be able to give them an answer. So if you have any questions, I'm here.
Do we have any insurance questions? Like, will the town's insurance cover?
We're insured. Yeah.
Okay, for other groups to come in and have events, and are there limitations on the types of events that we can have?
I don't think it's any different than anything else that we do that our insurance covers for other activities that we have elsewhere. But we can check.
Okay, I mean, I know our boat club insurance requires a member being there at all times at the building, and I don't know if our town insurance would want somebody from the town to be on the premises, or what are the requirements? Do we give people keys to the building when they rent or is it only when the art classes are going to be being held that these activities can happen, or are we having our parks foreman come and open the door?
I would think that you would need to have representation from the town at every event, and I can't imagine that you would give people keys to the
Right. Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no,
There are a
but
lot of different options on here.
So I think that I mean, we can look into this obviously, but to have events at the space, I think it would have to be under the supervision of the town. Whether I don't know that it would be limited to when art classes are going on, because that seems to me to be sort of a limited.
So, Keith, do you want to talk a little bit about what you were thinking?
Sure. The suggestion of trying to coordinate it during class period was to simply make it simpler and less expensive, not having to have anybody there that wasn't going to be there already. But that wouldn't be the only times, obviously. And 90% of the time, I can run over there and open up because I only live a mile and a half away. So for the time being, as my status as de facto art center manager, that's not a problem. We have 5 other instructors starting in January offering classes for the winter session. Assuming we get enrollment for those, there's a whole lot of times already blocked out where parts of the art center will be in use. That's our weekly calendar. So I think it's not quite as limited as it was, in the fall. We only had 2 instructors running classes, and I'm constantly recruiting other instructors. But outside of, existing class times, so myself or one of the other instructors will be doing some of our maintenance work during that time period that somebody's holding a meeting or doing an activity.
I mean, the other thing is to think about it as similar to pavilion rental, especially for that one space. I mean, we rent out our pavilions, and we have somebody sort of come and let people.
Yeah,
there,
no,
and then we go and check it at the end. So we are paying for somebody to clean out the garbage or whatever. But
okay, so we'd also have that same person or
it would
a similar
somebody,
person,
right? It would be
come and
more
check
similar
it.
to that. That's
Make
how
sure
I
the
think
bathroom
about it.
sinks aren't left on.
Right.
I mean,
we don't have
somebody
anybody
responsible
babysitting.
for the building.
Right. We don't have any babysitting. I do think what we should consider, and I can't remember if we put this in the budget or not for parks, but that we put doors on the entry to the ceramics studio, because that way we can close that off if we want to from the rest of the building. Right? We talked about
Yes, we agree. The instructors. There's 3 doors basically. The green room where the computer is, that should be secured, and the 2 classroom doors, and that way people aren't wandering around looking at somebody else's pottery and messing it up, or getting injured with tools that are there. They have to be used carefully. So, and in terms of making sure everything is turned off and the heat is reset and things like that, that's not a problem.
Do you have keys to that building?
Yes.
All right, and I mean, we could let community groups do whatever their theater or
Right. So
whatever.
there's you can see actually in
I see.
the
meetings in theater room
Here.
by for-profit.
it's on the regular meeting that we are going to accept all the fees.
Ah.
If we were okay with it. So meeting in the theater room by arts groups for 3 hours or less would be $30. More than 3 hours is $50 additional. Sure. Less than 3 hours is $30. That's for a flat fee, and then more than 3 hours is $50. I don't know if that's unlimited. What, 3 to?
Full day.
Full day on this side.
Yeah, I was trying to sort of make it fit a little bit more into like the way we have Okay. I see. Okay. Okay, so 3 hours or less is $30, and then maybe we say 6 hours is $50. I don't know if you want people there for more than 6 hours anyway. Meeting in theater room by non-arts groups, 3 hours or less, $50, and then we'll say 6 hours, $100. Are we okay with this so far?
Fine with me.
And
It's your decision.
meeting in theater room by for-profit groups, 3 hours or less is $100, and for-profit groups each hour over 3 hours, $25. I think that's I mean, it's not a lot of money for renting a space, really. And then the art activity, birthday parties is, I mean, usually a kid's birthday party is about 3 hours, so 3 hours is $200 plus instructor's fee, materials expense.
Okay, so art activity, birthday parties would be in the art area as opposed to the stage area. Is that
I'm
what
not
you're saying?
100%
Well, it
sure.
could be in either. Depends on what
Yeah.
what the.
Depends on what it is.
I would anticipate that.
The floor in the theater area is carpeted or?
It's
It
carpeted.
is, but I mean, it's not a problem. I mean, they just had a big, huge art activity there for the holidays, and
Okay,
I
as
haven't
long
actually
well
looked
as
at
long
the
as
floor
that's
again. But
I vacuumed it. It's fine.
Okay.
Is that indoor, outdoor carpet?
it's kind of like that. It's
Yeah.
not, I don't know.
It's
It's,
like
a
an
low
industrial
pile. Yeah,
grade.
it's an industrial carpet. It's a low pile.
Yeah, it's an
carpet,
old
and
carpet.
It's
and-
old and it's got a pattern on it, and
Right.
what we might want to remove it at some point, depending on how, again, depending on the use as we go forward.
I'm
and-
just
and
trying to
everything else.
identify, if you're having birthday parties, then we'll definitely have our own instructor there. They can't have their own birthday party with,
No, they could bring in their own instructor, presumably. I mean, it says plus instructor's fee and materials. I'm guessing that if somebody comes there, though, it's more likely that they want one of our instructors.
Yeah, and I don't
And we-
see it being used, for a sports party. But you have ball fields right there, so it could be. Kids could go out and
Right.
run. They come in there and have their pizza.
well, people are always looking for a nice space for baby showers and birthdays and 50th anniversaries and things like that. And it's a beautiful space, so I'm just trying to get my head behind. So we'll have the same as the pavilions with the fee to make sure it's cleaned up.
We can add that too. I don't actually think we added that. Do we have that on for pavilions? What do we have for?
We don't have that for pavilions.
Right. We don't have that for these other things, but that's because I think that it's just the amount of activity that would take place. I think we're talking about painting. I mean, I don't know, but in terms of the arts groups that would be using the theater space, wouldn't it be enough to have our weekly cleanup for that space?
Yeah, I don't
It's in
think
the
that,
art.
I don't think it's really a concern. If we think that the activity is going to be in the theater space and it might involve spills, and we'll require them to put a tarp down
Mhm.
wherever the paints are and things like
So
that.
you would coordinate that with them based on whatever the specific is, and that they clean up for the most part, that they do the major cleanup themselves.
We're talking about primarily small groups of adults who I hope would behave
Yeah, I was
like
going to ask you,
adults.
how do you define an arts group? What's the definition of an arts group? Me and
Well-
my friends wanting to do some art, or
Yeah.
I'm just asking,
Pretty
how
much.
do you?
Yeah, I think it's you and your friends wanting to do some art is an arts group.
Exactly.
I would think you'd want to put some limits on number of people per group or things like that. I mean, I think that the space isn't that big, so but it seems to me that really is a discussion for when you
Start to
should-
see if they're
well,
what,
I
what,
would
what the
think you'd want to
utilization
have
is.
some framework of policy. So I don't think the space could hold 50 people. Maybe you're talking groups of 10 to 15. I don't know.
Oh.
So
I
just
can,
some framework of policy so that when you go in, you're not, We just anticipate the need.
Do we know what the building department has on that building? Do you know the little sign?
There is no sign.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
we
but
should
we
work
know
on
what the capacity is. I actually think it's like about 75.
Okay.
The groups that have approached me, I'll give you a better description of it. They're mostly members of the Ossining Arts Council and the Croton Council of the Arts. Some of them have been taking classes, and they're looking just to have a drop-in session where they can come and paint, or a different group of them who approach me come and draw. And
Okay, so
and
they
so it's
I
you're
mean,
talking
that's-
about 5 to 10 people, I
okay,
think,
but
maximum.
they want the big room, or they would like to work in the studio
No, it'll be in
room?
the big room, I'm
Okay.
sure. And that way, they have that beautiful view of the pond and the trees and the park if they want to do that. Otherwise, they can put up, a still life on the stage, and they've got something to work, that way. They can put a model on the stage, clothed until we get drapes, and that's really, the conversation that I had with them, and I said,
Okay,
sounds
so
good.
we're not talking about any access to the art areas.
Not for that, no.
Okay, just
The and the process I thought would be, I'd have a sign-in sheet so we get people's names and addresses and phone numbers, so there's some identity and responsibility for who was there that time, and collect their fee for this kind of drop-in thing. For example, we don't know who's going to show up till they show up. So if it's on Tuesdays from 6 to 9, then on Tuesdays people come in, they sign in, they hand me their $10, and they do their thing while I'm teaching my class. And so it's really not a big deal.
okay.
And we talked about these fees are not very high. They're low.
No, I get
Right.
that.
And they're low because we're trying to drum up business. And if in fact we start to get to the point where we have higher demand, then we can revisit our fees.
Okay.
But I think right now we wanted to try to keep them lower to try to get people there and see what the benefits are. And,
But
It's like
this is something that we have to do all the time, is revisit this, all,
Mhm.
every bit of it, not just the fees,
right.
because time changes things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we've always had problems here with political people wanting to rent these places, and I don't think that's allowed. But I guess I don't know how you go about saying no before you before it's asked. But I know the parks. I've been here when they had controversy about wanting to have a fundraiser for politicians in the parks, and that didn't go over too well.
Mm.
So before we get
Why was that an issue? Just out of curiosity. Anybody?
what,
Why is that an issue? Like, if anybody wants to rent anything and you pay a fee, why would it matter what you're renting them for?
well, it's
The
If you're paying-
fundraising sometimes is an issue. A lot of organizations don't let you do political fundraisers. Just
But other
because-
fundraisers you can do.
potentially, yes.
Yeah, the
It
book club
depends.
won't
Like
allow
not for
political.
profit or
It
whatever.
depends,
Uh-huh.
but a political fundraiser, if it's a public space that you want to make sure is inclusive, you do a political fundraiser, it may be alienating to other people. So typically, organizations don't let places do
I mean,
political fundraisers.
I just don't understand that because you could have a private party and you're not
But-
inviting
but
the whole
it's a
world to your
fun-
private
But
party.
it's a fundraiser, so the operative word is fundraiser.
I see. Okay.
so I was just saying,
That's another
thinking that
conversation.
maybe you,
Yeah.
not
doesn't-
necessarily. Well, it is, I guess. But if it's written in already,
Mhm.
then you don't have to worry about it. But you might want to do a little more investigating.
You know,
on it.
I think that Northern raises a good point. I think that we should look at the policies that we use to rent other facilities, the policies that they have to rent spaces in the community center, and adopt those in anticipation of having things come up, rather than do it loosely and then have to deal with it on an ad hoc basis.
I mean, what we could do is we could just say that the policies for the for this is an extension of this is basically a facility that services town and village recreation, because that's what it is. It's an extension essentially of the recreation department. That's why we have programs there that are run by the recreation department, and that we basically just say all policies are the same, or that apply to all policies, rules, and regulations that apply to the community center also apply here.
All right, so that brings me to, that's not a good idea, but who collects the fees for this?
So right now we're collecting the fees for all the special events.
Okay,
The town
okay.
is going to collect the fees
So
for
as
the
long as
special
there's not
events.
instructors or
Correct.
things provided.
Right,
Okay.
and for all of the events that are run through right now, this isn't going to. These are going to be run by Cedar Lane Arts Center, and we'll collect those extra fees.
Okay.
Okay,
Just wondering which direction. Okay.
that makes sense.
Yep.
For everybody, similar to the way that we collect pavilion fees. So we're thinking about this like one of our pavilions.
Okay. I just think there's
And I think-
additional.
Yeah, I think that,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know if we need to go into all the details. If we just look at the, what we're doing for other venues and
Right.
just apply those same things, I think we're pretty good.
Right.
Yeah, and just make sure somebody's there afterwards to make sure the heat's on or off or
Yeah, I think-
whatever
I think-
there
Right.
needs to be somebody to open the door and check it afterwards.
Right, and that's
Absolutely.
going to be Keith, and he's going to
And that's not
be the main person, I think, dealing with this, because
for now.
I think if we give this to the recreation department right now to run, it's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to get the attendance that we need
No.
because it
Agreed.
hasn't been good. It hasn't been good right now. Let me just say that. So I think let's just try to keep this in-house and focused for right now, and then if it's not working out, we'll revisit it, like we said.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, last question. If a group of scouts wants to do an art project, is that an art group or non-art group?
It's a I think we'd said it's a non-art group, right? Yeah, the art group was really for artists who are sitting there.
Okay, so
doing,
established artists
like,
or arts
right, who want to
council.
come in and do a
Okay,
regular
I'm just trying to get a
thing,
definition of art groups.
right?
What I was
Although this
intending,
actually says
what I was
Scout Ceramics Lessons down.
Yeah.
It's a special
Yeah, that's a
deal
different.
at the bottom.
Yeah, my view on that specific request was A, it is learning about clay. B, it's potential for getting more kids into our clay and art classes.
Oh no, not the bottom one.
So the Girl Scouts coming to get their badge in pottery is really an arts group.
No, absolutely. It's not the bottom one that I was thinking. I was thinking like build a scarecrow inside, or
Oh.
do a painting
Yeah,
project,
That would
or
be a non-art group.
you know,
I think.
Okay.
so. But
Okay.
but they're doing art, so I'm just asking.
Are you
know?
defining it if they come to do art or if they are an established art organization?
In my
or-
sense, are they coming there for the purpose of art? Then it's the arts focus. If they're coming there to have a meeting about the river or about green auctioning fundraiser or whatever,
Right.
not fundraiser. If it's whatever, then it's not really art focused. But whether it's painting or pottery or sculpting, if it's arts, and whether it's Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, or the Rotary, it's
Okay.
arts. That was my view.
Okay, so we're going back to that. So that we'll try to, maybe we need to adjust the definitions a little bit in this to,
Okay, I just wanted to be clear
reflect
so that
that.
people
Mhm.
don't.
instead of saying non-arts groups or group for the purpose of art versus non.
Non-arts activities.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody, there are other questions for Keith, or can we let him go?
I want to say
Good.
thank you
Thanks,
for the
Keith.
job
Thank
you've
you
been
very
doing.
much. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it was a great,
Keith.
really wonderful event. I know the two of us were there.
It
and
was a
we
lot of fun.
Had a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was exhausting, but for
That's
us.
great.
So I will wait till I get something formal from you. Is that right? Before I answer these requests.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a good chance we're going to adopt this
All right, I'll
today, unless
All right.
anybody has any issues with it. And we can, we'll just do a friendly amendment to include language that would recognize that we are going to follow the policies, rules, and regulations of the community center.
Okay. Thank you.
And tweak
Keith.
the language.
Thank you
a
for your
little.
time.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks, Keith.
Okay, so now we're going to move into our regular meeting with a roll call. Did we do the roll call already? I don't think we did.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Excuse me. Councilmember DeJoy,
Present.
Councilmember Wilshire,
Present?
Councilmember Feldman,
Present.
and Supervisor Levenberg.
Okay, I don't have a lot of announcements this early morning, but I will let you know that we are, Hanukkah starts on Tuesday night. And we'd like to welcome everybody to the newly annual Hanukkah Festival, which is sponsored by the Chabad Briarcliff and is taking place at Market Square at 6 o'clock Tuesday night, December 12th. And there will be donuts, latkes, chocolate gelt, and music, and of course the menorah lighting. So please come and join us there for that. And that is why we were having our meeting this Monday morning, bright and early, because we were not able to have it tomorrow night since it's the first night of Hanukkah. And we wish everybody a very happy Hanukkah. We also just want to remind people that as you're scurrying around, buying gifts for your family and friends and loved ones, and everybody else, please do remember that there are so many wonderful organizations in Ossining that would greatly, and beyond, that would greatly benefit from your kindness. And with changing tax policy, you don't know what's going to happen, so make sure that you get all your donations in before the end of the year. We just saw a wonderful documentary at the documentary and discussion series that was last Thursday night, that was all about the making of a play at Sing Sing and the work that Rehabilitation Through the Arts, also known as RTA, does for the men inside there, as well as the women at Bedford Hills Correctional Facility. And it's a great organization, so I just wanted to give them a little plug. Councilwoman DeTore runs IFCA. IFCA does a great job helping provide affordable housing in our community. They're a wonderful organization. There are
Baker Collier
Baker Collier Cheer Fund right now is collecting
for the Christmas
for
baskets.
the Christmas baskets. We have the Ossining Microfund. We have the Ossining Children's Center. We have Open Door Family Medical Center. We have
Food pantry.
the Ossining Food Pantry. We have, did I mention the Ossining Microfund? We just have so many wonderful organizations, and they really all do need your help at this time. So please do consider any one of those, or any one of the many, countless others that serve all of us every day. And that's it for my announcements. How about that for short announcements? Okay. Does anybody have any other events coming up? We're going to be closed. We're going to have a half day, not this Friday, but the following Friday, as well as the Friday that follows that. So just preceding the Christmas weekend and preceding the New Year's weekend. And we will be closed for Christmas and for New Year's. And that is it for our closures for the holiday season. And you are able to not prepay, but you can't, just a reminder, if you do want to pay the second half of your school taxes, right now that's all that you can do, because we don't have the warrant for the rest of the taxes ready yet. But many people are nervous about the implications of not being able to take the full deduction for property taxes. So we encourage you to get your second half school property tax payment into the tax receiver's office as soon as possible, if you'd like to make sure that you can still be able to deduct it. Anything else as far as announcements? No. You said no? No. Okay. So we're going to move on to liaison reports. And does anybody have any liaison reports?
The Ossining Boat and Canoe Club is in a full holiday toy drive. This is the last week to be able to donate to any of the red boxes you see around, so that we can get them out to the kids and families that need them.
And there is a box in the clerk's office.
There is a box in the clerk's office.
Which is kind of
Inside.
filling up.
Oh,
It's
good.
filling up, and it's actually inside the office, not outside. So you need to go in and
Say hi to Mary Ann.
say hi.
Wish her happy holidays.
Exactly.
And why shouldn't you? Okay, and is that it for liaison reports? Okay, departmental reports. Seeing none. Public comment on agenda items. Seen one of the public? No? Okay. So we're going to move into our board resolutions. We're just going to, can we just quickly just adopt both sets of minutes at the same time in one fell swoop?
Sure.
All right, fantastic.
Oh,
Do you need to
I had a
abstain?
quick question. Did you catch that date, the time? One of the minutes had a time mistake.
Okay, so
It said 8:30 p.m. instead of 7:30 p.m. It wasn't a big deal.
that we started? You mean that we
Mhm.
started the meeting?
Oh, yeah, remember I asked you?
But are you sure we can start the work session at 7:30 and then start the discussion?
Yeah, that's what I think
okay.
it was.
Started the
okay.
right time.
My mistake.
Yeah, it was just the work session and
The work session, and then so we did start the meeting at. Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna, so do I have a
Know that
motion
Maddie
to
gets on top of it.
approve the, I'm gonna take a
And
motion
then-
for A and B together, approval of the minutes for November 28th and December 5th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any, opposed? Okay. And approval of the voucher detail report for, for December 12th, 2017 in the amount of $760,234.42. And this is because, do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
This is because we have the, let's see, we have the New York State
Retirement.
retirement, which is about 400,000. We have Medicare, which is twice a year, Medicare reimbursements. And then we have a payment to Norwest, which is, for $29,000. OVAC is the 6 of 6 payments, which is $100,000. And we have our 3 car chargers at about $14,000 each, which we will be getting reimbursed for. Our electric vehicle charging stations. Not just the plug. Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And now we are going to discuss our next up. We have our budget.
Resolved, the town board of the town of Austin hereby approves the 2018 budget for the town of Austin. Total appropriations for the 2018 entire town fund are $5,545,182. Total appropriations for the unincorporated area funds are $3,700,113. And total appropriations for the highway fund are $2,674,639. Total appropriation for the water and sewer funds are $625,664. Total appropriations for the fire, light, refuge funds are $1,432,370. Total appropriations for the ambulance district are $643,073.
We have a late breaking change to one of those numbers. The total appropriations for the water and sewer funds at $625,664. We actually have to add $258 to that. So it's $625,922.
That was it. Okay. Thank you for that late breaking news. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second.
Thank you. Okay, so once again, we're here at the end of 2017, looking forward. We know that we're going to have a lot of great work to be done in, continuing to be done on our infrastructure, our parks. We're very much looking forward to having our spray park completed with the recirculating system, as well as a number of other improvements that we will be seeing moving forward. Looking forward to getting a lot of things, a lot accomplished next year. And just want to thank again Dale Ferrara, our deputy comptroller, and Maddie Zahat, our budget director, for all the work that they've done putting the budget together, and thank the board for your hard work working with the department heads and all of our department heads who work to make sure that we have a budget that is tax cap compliant. So with that, all those in favor?
No,
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Supervisor,
yep.
roll call vote, please.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Councilmember DeTore,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilshire,
Aye.
Councilmember Feldman,
Aye.
and Supervisor Levenberg.
Aye.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Resolved, the town board of the town of Ossining accepts with gratitude 2 wooden benches with cushions from the Adele Feldman of Ossining, valued at a total of $200.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much, Councilwoman Feldman, for organizing that. And we have the benches now are at Cedar Lane Park, and they look pretty nice in there. Thanks. Okay, so we are now coming to the resolution about Cedar Lane Art Center rental fees. So we'll make a couple friendly amendments to this, I think. You want to read it first, and then we'll just adjust it.
Do you want me to read all of the,
So I don't know. Do we have
since
to
he
go
just
through?
went through a
Yeah.
good part of them?
Okay, so let's just say resolve that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby adds the following fees to the town of Ossining fee schedule to be effective immediately. And this is what I think we should do is under park rental fees, meeting in theater room for art activities, 3 hours or less, $30. Meeting in theater room for art activities, 6 hours. For 6 hours, $50, or up to 6 hours, $50. Meeting in theater room by non-art activity groups. For non-art activities, 3 hours or less, $50. Meeting in theater room for non-art activities, up to 6 hours, $100. And then we'll follow the rest of it, which is meeting in theater room by for-profit groups, 3 hours or less is $100, and those same groups each hour over 3 hours, $25. An art activity birthday party for children, 3 hours or less, $200 plus instructors' fees and materials expense. Art fair events, $50 per artist booth. Ceramics weekend workshop, 2 days would be $100 per day. Plus, it doesn't say this, but it needs to be plus instructor or supervisor's fee. Artists group use of theater space, 3 hours or less, $10 per artist per session. That one looks, I'm a little concerned about that. I don't understand that one. Scouts ceramics lesson, 1 learning session plus 1 firing session, $20 per scout. And then firing fees are 5 cents per cubic inch for bisque, 7 cents per cubic inch for cone 6 glaze. And then we want to add to that all rules, policies, rules, and regulations that apply to the Joseph Caputo Community Center would also apply to the use of Cedar Lane Art Center. Maybe we say Joseph Caputo Community Center and pavilions and parks pavilions would apply. Okay?
So moved.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Thank you.
This is going to be fluid, though, as we work out how it's working out, right? Okay.
Thank you.
Whereas the town of Ossining invited sealed bids pursuant to section 103 of the general municipal law of the state of New York for the renewal of refuse, garbage, and commingled recyclables within the town of Ossining Refuge District for the period of January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, with the option on the part of the town to renew for up to 4 separate additional 1-year terms, and whereas a public notice was advertised in the Journal News, and whereas the town only received 1 sealed bid, which bid was opened at 10 a.m. Friday, November 17th, 2017, and whereas the 1 bid, and thereby the lowest bid, was by Santa Pro Disposal Services Corporation, DBA Suburban Carting Companies, 566 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, New York, at a total bid of $546,000. And whereas Suburban's bid was substantially higher than the amount the town had previously been paying for $432,520 for 2017, And whereas after further discussion with Suburban as the low bidder and the town, Suburban submitted a revised pricing model dated November 28th, 2017, that revised the annual charge to $495,000 for the year 2018 and also set forth the proposed prices for years 2 through 5 in the event the town opted in its discretion to renew the agreement for any and all of those additional terms. And
Or
now,
all. I'm sorry, it's for any or all. You just, it's written correctly.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
and all of those additional terms, and now therefore be it resolved that the 2018 refuge recycle bid is hereby awarded to Santa Pro Disposal Services Corporation, DBA Suburban Carting Company, 566 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, New York, 10510, for the total bid of $495,000.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Sorry for the correction, Madam Clerk. That was the one thing that if you could do it either 1 year or you could do it 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. That's why I wanted to make sure it was clear. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Correspondence to be received and filed. Resolved that the town board, the town of Austin, hereby accepts the following meeting minutes. Town Planning Board adopted resolution dated November 15th, 2017. Town of Planning Board meeting minutes dated November 15th, 2017.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolved the town board, the town of Austin hereby accepts the following monthly reports for the month of November 2017. Town Clerk's Office, Town Building Department, GE Helicopter Report, Town Supervisor's Office, and the Tax Receiver's Office.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
That brings us to visitor recognition. Is there anyone who's come to address the board?
Okay. Wonderful.
Like, then we have a motion to adjourn.
Might I have one?
We'll move.
Second.
Okay, so I'd like to take a motion to adjourn into executive session for personnel.
So
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Have a wonderful Hanukkah, and we will see you next Tuesday night, December 19th. Thank you. At the courthouse. No, I'm sorry, at the library. Oh, we have a town hall. We have a town hall meeting next week, and we're going to be recognizing some of our boards. This is a new tradition that we started last year because we have many volunteer boards throughout the town, and we want to make sure that we have a chance to say thank you to them for all their hard work throughout the year. So we will be over at the library for that. And we don't have any public hearings that night. No, that's the following week, right? So we'll be probably calling for a public hearing that night for the following week for a couple things. Okay. In any case, we look forward to seeing you next week at the library for our town hall meeting, and have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.